Hi everybody, this is Taffy bringing you chapter 15 and 16 of my 4 Kings 100% Growth LTC. Last chapter was the halfway point of the run and things will soon start changing dramatically. Chapter 15 is the last normal map, being a kill boss map. The boss, Swordmaster, is near the top left corner and moves to attack any of our player units in range. There's a lot of terrain and the shortest path to him involves flying over a river protected by several fleets. It's nothing Locritus, the Bowbreaker, and our trusty Lewis script can't handle though. However, Locke is hardly well suited to fighting the boss on enemy phase, especially with all the terrain. Thankfully, we do have somebody else who still hungers for EXP and does have the stats and weaponry to challenge the boss. Chase, with all his perfect level ups, S rank anima, and his trusty Spark Dome. Our other units simply work on self-improving, staff grinding, or facilitating others. Shoutouts to the glitchy map animation on that thief. All thieves in this map have droppable red gems, but this is the only one we can get to before we finish the map. There is a warrior in the bottom right with a stealable guiding ring, but we've already promoted every relevant unit who wants one. The two Wyvern Lords on the river are a pain for us to deal with on enemy phase, especially for our more frail units, but this is fine. Like, we have the tools here. Like, Cielo can pick one off with a Sky Shot, and we set up the 2-use Axe Reaver so that Locritus can cleanly one-round this one, break it, and then slide the Bowbreaker up to the top of his inventory for enemy phase when the fleets will be active. You might notice that we've been getting more and more frantic about our staff usage optimization. That's because we're reaching a breaking point. Shelby's turn 1 Phantom is just to distract one of the fleets from going after someone squishy like Dorian. But like I was saying about the staves, with the next map onwards, we're going to actually start using our one-use staves. So this is the point in the run where, like, since we've historically had not as many staff users, but we had to prepare. We still had to prepare quite a few. That's why it's like this particular segment of the game is particularly tight on that. Anyway, at the top right part of the map, you might have noticed a green warrior and an emperor. The warrior is a recruitable unit, Jack, but he auto-joins at the end of the chapter as long as he stays alive, so we don't need to put any effort into getting him. Jack is frail but has great weapon ranks and good offenses. His stats are quite similar to our 100% growth Victor actually. His PRF is the Hurlbat, a weak 1-2 range axe that grants the Hawkeye skill. We will use the Hurlbat on a few occasions to give units perfect accuracy for more reliable enemy phases. He's with Ladon, the king of Behanzin, who packs the provoke skill, meaning all enemies will prefer to go for him over Jack. He is a game over condition, but he has excellent stats and will easily last until we clear the map. We do a little rescue drop of Bradley to let him fight an extra archer. Bradley has marginally weaker stats than the old run thanks to having had to promote earlier. We didn't want Lark to rescue Chase on turn 1, so as to preserve his avoid. So instead, we pick Chase up on turn 2 and have the Phantom carry him to Lark. We could have had Cielo rescue Chase, get danced, and then hand him off to the Phantom. Or we could do a take support give with Euphin. This uses his C support with Lydia and lets us get an extra staff use in on this player phase. There was a lot of trade shenanigans, but that was mostly just to make sure that I concentrated my staff usage onto each staff to like try and set the wear one down to one use before putting significant work on the next one, to the extent possible. Candace is placed here to bait one of the archers who will go for Ava on enemy phase, removing an unnecessary chance of death. It does cost Ava EXP, but it's fine, she doesn't have a hard stat benchmark. Chase doesn't double the boss and hence can't cleanly one-round him, but thanks to Spark's innate crit and his S-Anima crit and hit bonus, he has a respectable chance of one-shotting him with a Spark crit. If Locke had the Fleurette's White Pool effect, Chase would in fact cleanly kill the boss, but he really wants Bowbreaker to dodge the Ballista that will go for him. Shoutouts to Zero Hit. Locke does need to dodge one out of the 3 non-fleet attacks that goes for him on this enemy phase. And that is chapter 15 in 2 turns. Now it's on to chapter 16. Chapter 16 is the turning point in this LTC where we throw out a lot of conventional wisdom surrounding LTCing and instead start following the consequences of this hack's unique identity. Okay, that's a bit of a lie. We are still following the algorithm at the heart of all rigged LTCs, but many of the common bits of wisdom derived from it do not apply as strongly moving forward, thanks ultimately to the PRF glitch. This is a Seize map, and the second fog of war map in the whole game. We need to make our way to the top of the map. In a conventional LTC, you'd expect us to charge forward with our 8-move units, but this LTC isn't conventional anymore. Our new unit, Jeremy the Bishop, is going to be the most mobile unit in our army moving forward. I went over him in the introduction video, but here's the lowdown. Jeremy comes with very mediocre stats, though he does have okay bulk. His saving grace is his PRF, the Rewarp Staff, which comes with the Power Staff skill. 14s does not have a Warp Staff, so Jeremy's Rewarp is the next best thing. He has a healthy 11 con, meaning he can carry Lionel even after he promotes. Power Staff makes Rewarp the most important PRF for the rest of the run, since it allows one-use staves to refresh the staff user's turn, and is the reason all of our spare actions have been devoted to optimizing staff usage. The Rewarp Staff will play a part, one way or the other, in all but 3 maps in the rest of the run, and one of those 3 is a shopping chapter. Jeremy's mediocre bases mean he will be punching above his weight for the rest of the route split, and as such we dumped all of the stat boosters Ava stole for us on him immediately. He has 14 magic right now, translating to 7 range on Rewarp, and we need him to get to 10 range by chapter 22. Most of our infantry units have just been rendered irrelevant thanks to Rewarp. Marcy needs to visit the village to get us the important Birchdome, but if she were to take the best starting tile and use her full movement every turn, she would end up one square shot. Instead, we have Patty and Colt scooch her forward so she can make it in time. Colt has the Fleurette to boost Marcy's offenses for the enemy phase. This is the map we bought the regular torch for, because we need vision up north, and the clear goes by so fast we don't want to rely on torch staves. Sally hits level 10, meaning she will promote for next map to improve its reliability. Zoe needs to light up Jeremy's rewarp destination because GBAFE staves can't target a destination in the fog. Lionel has Darklight at the top of his inventory because we explicitly want him to get to low HP for turn 2 enemy phase. We're killing these Cavaliers more to make sure that they don't accidentally dogpile on and kill one of our units than because the EXP is necessary, to be honest. Hits a axis, which he'll put to use next map. Ideally, we would want Lionel to get hit by both the mercenary and the archer that go for him to put him at 1 HP by the end of enemy phase. I should have given Marcy the Hoplin Guard to avoid that unnecessary crit chance from the Berserker. She was given the Hurlbat so that she could have perfect accuracy on him, and with the Floret boost, she cleanly one-rounds him. Lionel just barely avoided doubling Sarah, the recruitable Lady Knight, and because that round of enemy face combat didn't result in a kill, his Darklight's Fury darks 10 HP, which at least gets him down to 9 HP. Jeremy talks to Sarah to recruit her, and then everything changes. When the men's staff breaks. This is our first power staff glitch of the run, and it helps save a turn because we need to rescue drop Lionel closer to the throne so he can seize next turn. We got him to low HP because neither Jeremy nor Sarah have the stats to take on all the enemies here. Speaking of Sarah, she has access to lances and bows and the Outrider skill, meaning she takes less damage and has a bit more crit for each square she moves on player phase before attacking. Her PRF is the Pursuer, which grants the Charge skill, increasing in might with the distance she moves on player phase. It can't be used by other units for player phase attacks, though it can be used for the arena, which is something I do in the last shopping chapter. Sarah's PRF actually has an associated glitch where she can basically one-shot any enemy in the game on player phase as long as she activates the trade menu right before attacking, including the final boss. It's an amusing trick, but I don't ever have to make use of it on this run. It could have been used for a simpler endgame clear though. Because Lionel has 9 HP, we can't afford to drop him onto the fort like we could have if he had dropped down to 1 HP, and instead have to drop him onto clear terrain to convince the enemies to suicide into him. Marcy traded the Floret to herself so she can convoy warp it later. Patty's job is getting the remaining EXP she needs to promote for the next map. There is a bishop in the fort at the top of the map with a stealable body ring, but it's too far out of the way and we have no need for it. Both needs to dodge one out of the 2 attacks that go for him on this enemy phase. Lionel's survival here is clearly very sketchy. What are the number of 40s he has to dodge? But sadly, Jeremy and Sarah just aren't up to fighting all of these enemies. Don't worry though, Jeremy will certainly redeem himself in another map coming soon. In all of this playthrough, we end up breaking 3 meds, 5 barriers, 1 physic, 1 silence, Hamon and rescue for power staff tricks. There is a fleet off in the top right corner which has a face, courtesy of the deposition update, but he gets to live because we just do not have the time to get up to him. Patty reaches level 10 and right on time as well, since we need 5 8-move units for the next map. We want Floret up north to help Jeremy kill the boss, and that's why we convoy warped it after we were done using it in the bottom left. Jeremy needs the Floret boost to kill the boss. Regis finishes setting up a 1-use barrier. That crit that Jeremy gets to kill this boss was completely unnecessary. I could have cleanly one-rounded him with Divine. Thanks to Deposition, the boss of this map was given a face and the boss flag, meaning he gives out more EXP when Jeremy kills him. And that is chapter 16 in 3 turns. I'll see you next time.